Yep.
Ambush Austin, walked out, touched my glove, and leg kicked the snot out of me. And I went, oh, and those butterflies were just gone.
Like just like that.
Just like that. Just like that. And like for everybody, it's different. I know some guys that, they'll puke before they walk
do
out.
something, man.
They're nervous. They'll puke and then, they'll get their stuff together and then finally walk out. Other guys are they're just chill. They're just born war ready.
Just war ready, just war up, dance with fear, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have two things that go off that story. Well, the first thing is like it's just so prevalent in, today's culture. There is some sort of incongruency with some young adults. And what I mean by that is, like you said, you went to this gym not knowing what to expect. You're saying like, oh, okay, we're going to have some fun. We're going to spar a little bit, throw some punches. Yeah, here we go, and kicks. And then you realize like, oh, okay, so this is what it's like. This is kind of fun, you know what I mean? And I think people need that.
Yeah.
I think especially not to like disparage young women. I think they should join too. Hell, I think they should also join especially young men and just young adults in general or teenagers, hell, pretty much everyone, they need an extracurricular like this.
Absolutely.
I think that, and yeah, call us biased because, I train under him and he's a badass fighter. But I think the reason why it's so needed now in this culture is because just look what's happening now. You have all these, especially, young men like doing a lot of heinous acts. Like they're either doing horrible things, they're doing, I don't really need to go on about it, but what sort of outlet can they have in a controlled environment? It could be sports, and I'm not trying to discredit sports because I think sports is great too. Yeah. But what happens after sports? What happens after college? What happens when those you can do pickup leagues, you can do pickup teams. Hell, soccer pickup leagues, those are awesome. Which, by the way, I'm getting good on my feet. I want to do soccer one day, but thanks to him. But what? It's just the bare concept. It's the primal mode in your body. It's like, yeah, let's fight, and it's more than about fighting.
Yeah.
And it's a dance almost. It's like, you dance with this fear, like I was saying, you dance with this competitive edge because how I would feel, because I only sparred twice. One was boxing and one was at Ambush like a couple months back. Or I think it was last summer. And again, like I wasn't that good, but we're getting there. But I can say this, just from that alone, it was kind of euphoric. And what I mean by that, like you said, you're now good friends with the guy you first fought with, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, here it goes. I think that, and this is my theory, so don't get too crazy on me, YouTube. There is a yin-yang with touch. Like how there's like intimacy with a lover, but then there's fist-on contact by a rival.
Yeah.
There's some sort of dance you have to do. There's some sort of like connection you have. It's not... And if you want to get more, I guess, in a paradox, it's really you versus you, just the fighter's just in the way, or the person's in the way. Because I would feel like, this is how I think, when I'm like trying to throw a combo, I'm actually trying to throw that combo. Like, I'm going to throw it no matter what. That's just me, in my opinion. I'm trying to make some sort of opening or imagining myself like, okay, if I throw this, I can throw that, right? And I think that correlates to just really in life in general. Like, you're going to like, I'm going to say it, screw up, mess up. But like you said before, like, don't worry about it. Go slow, then go fast. It's all working on yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
All working on yourself.
I completely agree with the idea that everybody needs some sort of extracurricular, whether it be, sports, weights, some sort of martial art. I personally love martial arts for the idea that, like you said, once you're doing sports and stuff in school, so you have that structure, the coaching and whatnot. After the fact, if you're just doing it as an extracurricular activity, you go to Gold's to play basketball. There's no coaches there. You're just there to play ball. And a lot of times you'll get in a scrap with a dude and there's nobody to stop it. There's nothing that comes along with it. You end up leaving angry about something or, whatever the case is. Where when you have, you go into those clubs, the outside leagues, now you still have a structure and you're playing with purpose. And even when something does upset you, you have that to kind of fall, that structure to fall into, that I can't be acting out because they're going to kick me off. And I truly love this sport where I feel like martial arts, like that structure is there no matter what.
Right.
There is no end game from beginners to amateurs to pros. You are under the same structure. Everybody's under the same structure. So there's nothing like, well, you have a problem with this dude. I'm not saying all gyms do this or any of the gyms do this specifically, but like, I have a problem with this dude. Well, let's spar. let's have it out, right?
Yeah.
It was actually a really cheesy line in a movie, but it was, you know, you don't really learn to respect somebody or even like them until you know them. And how do you get to know them? You fight them.
Yeah.
Which I don't even remember what movie or anything it was from. I just thought it was really cool, and I was like, I kind of agree with it.
And I just want to point this out too. We don't like, for me, learning Muay Thai. It's maybe not to want to fight anyone. Like I don't want. I honestly, no. I hate conflict. I would hate to fight anyone because, again, I think people need to know the gravity of violence. They have to, you know, do the violence in a controlled environment. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, we're not trying to say like, oh yeah, so if you have a problem with someone, please go kick them in the head. No, don't do that. Please don't do that. No, we're just saying that it's nice to be prepared because you did make up a good point. What if someone is messing with you or messing with someone? And last resort, fighting. The last resort is always fighting. You always try to, you know, dismantle the whole confrontation, whether it's just with verbal communication, just with like, you know, hey, let me buy you something so you don't have to like, you do. The fighting's the last thing to do. But if one needs to be into like, you know, get into it, it's nice to have that way you can control the situation, you know what you're doing, and no one else needs to get hurt. Like minor collateral damage.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, I have people all the time ask, "Oh, so you can defend yourself?" Yeah, I could. I don't want to.
I don't want to.
I don't want
to.
No one wants
and
that. I do have, you know, a couple of privates that I do. A couple of ladies that I essentially work self-defense with them. But initially the question like, oh, well, what if this? Run. Yeah. Run. Don't do anything. Just get away. Leave.
Yeah,
leave. I don't like. You know, like I said, I've been doing this for 11 years. Before I started doing this, I didn't mind. I didn't like confrontation. I didn't mind it. Sometimes I was known for slightly provoking it, but I was not one to like actually want to fight. I just liked talking shit essentially.
You just liked having fun in the controlled environment, yeah.
But before fighting. Before fighting. After, I actually stayed further away from it. If somebody wants a conflict with me, and I'll just turn and walk to it, like, yeah, man, your mom's fat. Yeah, that's cool. Like, and I just kind of leave it alone, you know. You can say whatever you want about anybody I know, myself included.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just no one wants that. Like and that's another thing too about like I want to point out to the martial arts community is like everyone in there are the sweetest people I've ever met. Like, I mean, this guy obviously he messes with me a lot, but it's out of love, I promise. But everyone that I've gone to, especially in this gym, they're just the sweetest people. They will take the time to help you. I think I remember. Yeah, no, I came back in January. I didn't even know who you were, and you're like, yeah, I'll partner up with you. I didn't know who you were. Little did I know that you've been doing this for 12 freaking years, or going on 12 years, and I was like, oh shit, like don't mess up, Nick. Like, you know what I mean? But no, like that's the thing that I love about it is like, yeah, sure, I'm progressing. I'm happy I'm progressing, but the community is the most important thing, I feel like, especially when it comes to martial arts. The community is most awesome, gentle people. Like, pretty much the saying goes, Ax Paterna, I'd rather be a warrior and a garden than a gardener in a war. Yes. And that just goes from there. And as for the respect part, yes, it goes deeper than this. This is why, you know, I'm obsessed with the martial arts culture now, is that, you know, when you think of virtuous, I'm going to leave that word alone. You know what I mean? But you wouldn't see like a rabbit. You see a rabbit, it's harmless. You see a lion, people would call it beautiful, but like at the same time, gracious almost. But at the same time, you would never want to mess with a lion. No. You wouldn't, because it looks cool and calm, but if he needs to like, you know, air it out, he'll air it out. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I guess that's what I'm trying to get to, especially to like, you know, to the collective unconscious, to all you people out there. Shout out to Carl Jung. I need to stop saying that, but he's dead. He's a psychologist. But anyway, it's basically, you know, you got to grow some teeth. You got to respect yourself, and once you respect yourself, others will follow suit. Not just by seeing it through you, but they will say like, you know what, I want to do something like that. Maybe not martial arts, but you know what, I like how he has his stuff together. Yeah. Is it martial arts? Is it maybe another extracurricular? They don't know. They'll follow it, and that's the thing. It's too. A lot of times, people on social media, they like to look up and admire and attract. Yeah. You see a lot of copiers. You see a lot of, you know, people that aren't themselves. They don't individualize. They need to have some sort of autonomy, and you can see it. You know, I'm not one to talk. I have a podcast, but the thing is, what I say is, yes, individuate. Like, be yourself. respect yourself. And like I said, how you do it, grow some teeth, do something worthwhile.
Yeah.
Like grant some, or like put on some sort of responsibility. That way you can go out to the unknown, be the hero on your own journey.
Yes.
Like Jordan Peterson. Shout out Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson, be the hero in your own journey, which you've done that, by the way. You've gone through some adversity. You've faced the Leviathan, the dragon. You've, done good for others and to yourself. And now others follow suit. And you're living proof because, dude, you've helped me a lot, man. You have helped me a lot. This gym has helped me a lot. I've been going through some adversity, obviously recently. But, like, this podcast, martial arts, friends have helped me so much. So, yes, that's why martial arts and this, just having something like this has helped me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I want to say.
I love it, dude. I've had, before this, that wasn't, my only hardship, if you will. I've been through many since then, but falling back on Muay Thai and using it as my outlet, as for my aggression, for just getting away from everything else. When I'm in the gym, nothing else matters.
Nothing else. Nothing else matters.
You leave it at the door so you can get your workout in. I mean, when I started this, that's essentially all it was for me. It was just a workout.
Yeah, same.
No intention of fighting. I didn't want to punch anybody in the face. I didn't want to be punched in the face. But once